All right, welcome back to the Underrated Profession. We are still here at the NABBA conference. Um, I'm here with Mr. Waverly Willis.
Waverly Willis,
Been
yes,
tearing
sir.
his man name up already. We're gonna get it right. But anyway, he's taking some time with us. We're in the middle of a class right now. We're in the middle of just finished up a powerful mindful teaching. Here we are actually in Atlanta, Georgia, here at the Embassy Suites. But anyway, no further ado, I want to introduce. Can you introduce yourself to our audience? Tell a little bit about
Hello,
yourself.
everyone. My name is Waverly Willis. I'm in Atlanta with all these good professional barbers at the NABBA conference. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. I am the chairman of the Ohio Barber and Beauty Alliance, the executive director of the Urban Barber Association. I own a chain of barbershops called Urban Cuts Barbershops. Three of those. I am the director of outreach at the Cleveland Barber College, and I'm also an Ohio licensed barber instructor.
Nice, nice. So that's I know y'all probably like me. You heard a lot of stuff right there.
Right.
So we wanted to see if we could take a little bit piece by piece if we
Yeah,
can.
absolutely.
But again, I thank you for taking this time to
No
come sit
problem.
with us.
My
One of the things we like to say here at Underrated Profession is all about learning, refreshing, and growing. And we want to make sure we celebrate. We want to celebrate. We want to also make sure that we are saluting our barbers and our barber profession. Right, so we thank you again for this time.
So I appreciate
So,
that.
quick question: we heard a whole bunch of stuff, but what got you into becoming an entrepreneur? I like to call barber an entrepreneur. What got you into cutting hair and becoming an
Well,
entrepreneur?
that's a funny story. It might be similar to a lot of our stories. My mother, Wardell Willis, God rest her soul, she was the single parent of one girl and three boys. Like a lot of single parents, she couldn't afford to go and take us to the barber shop. So she would cut my brothers and our hair. And, bruh, she did a terrible job at it, you know.
Hey, she was holding it down though.
Yeah, she
Good
was
at
she
that.
was just wanted her boys to be groomed.
Yeah.
So she did the best she could. But you know, the kids in the neighborhood, the kids at school, they would all laugh, point fingers, and make fun of my haircuts. And so I can remember it like it was a bad nightmare, man. My mom sat me down for my bi-weekly or every 3 week or monthly haircut, and I was about 8 years old. And she came to me with clippers in hand, and I remember just grabbing her wrist and said, "Mom, can I just cut my own hair?"
Oh, so you had enough. You said you want
Yeah,
to try it
yeah,
yourself.
yeah, yeah. So she said, "I don't care who cuts your hair as long as it gets cut." And so I started cutting my own hair. Same, probably worse results though, bro. Mom,
So you should have stuck with- should have stuck
yeah,
with
I
mom.
should have stuck with mom. You know, same results. Kids were still laughing, pointing fingers,
Right.
and making fun of my haircuts. But I kept at it though. You know, I would grab the kids with the same demographic, single parent homes, couldn't afford going to the barber, you know. So I was like 8, 10 years old. I would grab 3, 4 year olds. They didn't care about their haircut.
Right.
Mom or dad, whoever was at home, they didn't care. You know, the haircut might be patchy, uneven, maybe a fat part or
It
a
was,
crooked
it was,
lineup, but it was better
was-
than what it was.
better than nothing, right?
And so after about a year, the same kids that was pointing at me, and including my friends, you know, they started pulling up on me like, "Yo, you think you can, you know, cut my hair?"
You see,
Right. So Saturday mornings, my mom's basement would be filled with kids from my neighborhood, from my school, and my mom would count all the kids that was in her basement throughout that day. I was charging $2 a haircut then. You know, and my mom was charging me $1 per person.
Oh, so mom was getting a
Yeah,
little bit of that
because
too. At the same
yeah,
time.
because at the end of the day, they was her clippers.
True,
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
right,
It was
that's
her
right.
electricity.
That's
It
right.
was her venue.
That's right.
Everything belonged to her. I
That's
just
right.
had the talent and the client, so it was a partnership. So I was getting charged booth rental and
Early,
learn,
what age was this?
I was like 8 or 10 years
So
old.
you got introduced to booth rental early.
Yeah, man, and how to be an entrepreneur and
Yeah.
run a business. So
That's right.
with that money, you know, I started, you know, looking at different pairs of clippers when we would go to the stores. You know,
Right.
I would buy the cheap ones and learn that I can't use these
You got to invest in
for
yourself.
volume.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so I learned at an early age about
nice.
business, entrepreneurialism, and I'm grateful for it to this
Yeah,
day.
yeah, that's awesome, man. That's a prompt for those who's listening, students, apprentices, or even seasoned barbers. This just that's a great story. That's a great example of still persevering, as they say. Ain't the right word?
Yeah,
Persevering.
persevering. Yeah,
Perseverance is the word, right?
yeah,
That you stuck with it. You didn't let the naysayers
right.
throw you up and then turn around. They paying you.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
exactly.
jokes there that they wind
Exactly.
up paying. You. So,
Exactly, man.
definitely. So, what year did you go to barber school? Since we doing this is a barber school podcast. Do you remember what year you started barber school?
Well, I'm in recovery, so in Ohio, where I'm at, barber school takes about a year. It took me about 2.5 years to graduate from barber school.
I hear that?
I,
2.5 years.
right. I went to barber school and from
And where, by the way, I'm sorry, and where at too, by the way.
it's they don't have it. It's no longer in existence. It's called Ohio Barber Academy.
Okay.
And I went from school from '03 to '05. I actually lived in a homeless shelter, and I was addicted to drugs and alcohol. My first stint through barber college. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah, okay.
then I got into treatment, and that's when I went back to barber college. So that's why I say it normally takes a year. It took me 2.5 years.
So what age was you at the time when you had this?
I was mid 30s. No, early 30s.
You went
Early
to barber
30s.
school.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But you have been, I'm assuming you've been cutting up to
Yeah,
that point?
yeah,
You just
man.
went on and got your license.
Right.
Went on and got your license.
Yeah, I used to, people don't know this in Ohio. Again, I spent many years addicted to drugs and alcohol, and I was what's called severe homeless. I mean, like couch surfing on friends and family's couches. You know what I'm saying? I was the guy in downtown Cleveland in the wintertime, mind you, with cardboard on top of me and the hot steam coming up out the sewage. You know what I'm saying? I was the guy. It's a street called Carnegie in downtown Cleveland, and I used to eat out of the KFC dumpster. Every day. That was what I did. And so, as far as cutting hair, I was probably the most well-groomed dope fiend that anybody wanted to see.
I know that's right.
And that's how I would make. That's some of the way I would make my money to feed my habit. When somebody would walk past and say, "You got a real nice beard," I was just like, again, I would keep my beard really groomed.
Yeah.
And so, Cleveland used to have some bus stops that had outlets in them. So I would be cutting hair at bus stops, at the Greyhound station.
With some of the other homeless folks or just yourself?
No, just people that was coming
just
to the
coming
bus
to the
stop
bus
to
stop.
go to work in the morning. Like, yo, your beard is nice. Let me hit you up.
So you cutting it right there on the spot?
Right
like
on the
that?
spot.
Wow.
Yeah, because I'm chasing my habit. So if I can make $5 or $10, if I can make $10, I would spend $5 on a bump of crack and the other $5 on a pint of rolls. And that's how I spent my day. Yeah. So
This is so inspirational right now. I mean, I knew we were going to sit down and get some jewels and talk about it, but this is, y'all. I mean, first of all, thank you for you persevering. Thank you for you having, the strength and to be able to still persevere through that challenge, man. That is what's up. But go ahead, continue.
And so, I kind of stumbled into barber college, man. It was all divinely laid out for me.
Nice.
My first sponsor, I met the first stint of my barber college when I was still addicted. I used to sleep down the street at the bus stop from the college that I was in.
So students that can't come to school on time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't want to change the mood. I'm just saying.
It's no excuse.
Lesson here.
It's no excuse.
No excuse.
I'm fighting an addiction. I didn't have a place to live. And my first sponsor, again, his name was Odie Burton, God rest his soul. He got me into a treatment center. And after I got in, he was transitioning out. And then he OD'd. He relapsed and OD'd. I was the last person that he got into treatment. And
I'm sorry to hear that.
Right. But that's things like that let you know when God is in the midst of stuff. God will lay things out right before you.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get all preachy and stuff,
No,
but that's just a small microcosm of my story.
Yeah, to God be the glory on that one, sir.
Absolutely.
For sure. I think we still good. Oh, you know what? We got to take a quick break. I just looked at the time. We got to take a quick break for some sponsors. So y'all, we'll be right back continuing this conversation with.
Stay right there.
All right, we back. Underrated profession at the NABB, or did I say NBBA conference.
No, NABBA.
NABBA.
Yeah.
There we go. There
It's
we
a
go.
tongue twister,
And we're
right?
talking to Mr.
Waverly Willis.
And we're going to continue our conversation. You're going to help me out right
Yeah.
now. You know what I'm saying? We just met this good brother here at the conference.
I know my
and
name's
this
a tongue twister.
this is going to be a permanent connection moving forward. So
Absolutely.
you know, but so we just talked about your wonderful triumph that you did, and you know, and so inspirational to the to the viewers, coming from your situation from homeless, drug addiction to now having how many shops?
3 barbershops.
3 barbershops. Guess you got a school too as well? Or
I'm an instructor and the director of outreach at the
so
school.
barber instructor, barber and barber instructor, owned multiple barbershops, came from sleeping on the streets, cutting
Literally.
hair in the bus on the bus stops to make money for his addiction. But to God be the glory, he's now providing opportunities for other people to work and feed their families. And again, that's awesome, and I thank you. So I know you say you started late in school, but do you have any kind of funny like school experience? How was your school experience when you did? Because this is actually kind of really great because we have students that are usually a little older students. I like to call them more seasoned students, and sometimes they question if this is too late or should I be doing? I wish I would have done this earlier. And I always like to remind them that everything happens for a reason.
No,
So
it's never too late.
it's never too late. So how was it? How was your experience being a older student?
I was an older
Can you
student.
tell us your experience in school?
Again, I was in my early 30s, and I was going to Barber College with a lot of young guys. Just like with any older guy that's dealing with younger people on a regular basis, some of it was annoying to me, but I knew I was there for a reason. You know what? Some of it was annoying, but very quite entertaining at the same time.
We know what happened.
But even more so, to take it a step further, I knew that I was there not only to get a barber license, staying focused for my own personal reasons, but I knew that those young people were put in my life because I had a story.
Yeah.
And so I would definitely use my wisdom and my life experiences to kind of help the young people out, through some of the hard times. Because not only in barber college, man, you not only gonna learn how to grow as skill set as a barber, you're going to grow as a person. You know what I'm saying? And so I knew that after the light bulb came on and all the fog started to clear from the drugs and the alcohol that was in my system, now I can exhale and say, this is why I'm here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And to tell that young dude, you don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying?
So would you say, would you say, Barber, that just kind of came to mind when you say while being in barber school, like you said, entertaining and knowing especially because I was one of them knuckleheads. I was right out of high school, so I needed them seasoned.
Yeah.
And I tell that to my students and anyone I tell them that I'm thankful for some of the older students to help kind of like, but we had one guy we used to call Pops. His name was Larry, Mr. Larry. We used to call him Pops. He used to kind of keep us in line when we came to school,
Right.
you know. And
It takes
but
a village.
would you say that when you was in school that barber school was therapy for you along with your rehabbing and everything? Would you feel like that was
It was
therapy
definitely
at all?
it was definitely therapy for me because of the fact that I was relearning how to live life without the need of any mood or mind altering substances. And I'm also seeing young people gravitating toward my former life. So
Nice.
it was there for me to say, whoa, 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 whoa.
I've been down this road.
Don't
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
That you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's when I would share my story. Look, man, I started off just like you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was the dope man just like you.
Yeah.
And you can't tell me that you're not curious as to why these people keep stealing from their parents, stealing from their family to bring you this money.
Yeah.
You can't tell me in your head you never wondered, like, what is in this stuff?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
and that's what Larry used to do for us. He used to always tell all the time, y'all stay out of trouble this week. And it started out as I guess you would say originally a joke, but it became where, like you said, that rate like a village that we knew we had to be accountable to him.
Accountable.
We came on money. we wind up actually, it happened organically that we was like, now something we were being mindful of. Like, man, we can't go back and tell Pops what we did. Let's think
Right.
twice about this because we know Pops is going to ask us.
Right.
And he'll look right at us talking about, what did y'all do?
Right. Or you might even think twice about doing it.
Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
hopefully he popped into y'all
He
mind.
planted that season in. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it was a great experience overall, man. I'm
Right.
grateful for it.
Nice. So what would you say? So it sounds like you got a bunch of milestones, but what would you say is one of your proudest moments you would say as a barber? It sounds like you got a lot going on. Exactly. I know it's probably
man.
hard though.
My proudest moments as a barber. Well, you know what? Honestly, when I was telling you and your buddy about the programs that we got going on in our barbershops about healthy living, when we got the blood pressures, people in clinic coming in to do blood pressures, or we got the bus coming up to give people the prostate blood test. My proudest moment, I told you yesterday, was, we go talk about football, we go talk about video girls and all of that stuff.
Right.
But my proudest moment is when the shop is full of all of these macho men and we exchanging vegetarian lasagna recipes,
Nice.
or talking about a yoga pose that we have yet to accomplish.
Yeah.
Things of that nature. I've got many, many, many awards over the years, but those are my proudest moments because I'm not only changing appearances, I'm changing lives.
Changing lives.
I'm hearing people telling me that their blood pressure has went down since they started walking 3 times a week, or
Nice.
just took soda out of the diet.
Yeah.
Because we all going through something,
All going through something.
And in recovery, we have a saying. It's called a problem shared is cut in half. So you don't have to carry that on you. You can share it with me. I might have a suggestion on how I quit, or you might have a suggestion on how you stop doing something.
So it doesn't matter because all of it is still an addiction.
Right. Yeah.
Eating and
Yeah.
drugs,
Whatever
and all
it
that
is,
shit.
you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or it just might be you got an issue at home.
At
that,
home. Yeah.
Sometimes we
Yeah.
just need to talk.
You're right. Right. And so, like we talked yesterday, and shout out to, Alton Mitchell, Cuts by Quick, and as well as Mr. Mike Sauls or Mike Stroh. To give him a shout out to him. I'm doing this solo right now.
Yeah.
But anyway, so going back to what we talked about yesterday in that our conversation that we had about what you're doing with providing the screening and helping, is that something you could tell artists that they could do in any barbers or existing barbershops that are watching?
Right.
That's something that they can implement into their shop, right?
Absolutely.
Because,
That's one of the goals of the Urban Barber Association. Our mission statement is empowering the community through networking and education. And so I'm here just to spread the good word or the good news about what the Urban Barber Association is doing, and hopefully plant some seeds that you all can take it back to North Carolina and do the same. So we got a partnership with Cleveland Clinic, where the nurses from Cleveland Clinic or local hospital, also Cleveland State University after the Neo Med program. So students come out, or the American Heart Association,
Nice.
all of which rotating. They send people out to check our blood pressures at the shop. So while the client is waiting on himself to get his haircut, we can get our blood pressure checked.
Nice.
It got to the point that I got a little grant money. So now we bought some manual machines.
Nice.
So the machine is just sitting on the table. So now you don't have to wait on someone. You can just have a seat, you're waiting to get your hair cut, put it on your arm, hit the button, it'll tell you what your blood pressure is.
kind of like the drugstores do.
Exactly.
Right.
And the goal of that program is to screen, educate, and refer people. It's called the B3 program, the Barbershop, Beauty, for Beauty Salon, and Blood Pressure program. And again, it's to screen, educate, refer. We want to screen you, let you know what it is, educate you on what's a good versus a bad blood pressure,
Okay.
and then refer you to a physician. The ultimate goal is to get men or people, period, to go to the doctor on a regular basis, that they can have a relationship with that physician. And when we started this program, a lot of barbers are apprehensive. Well, what's in it for me?
Right.
Which
or,
I don't.
or I'm not a physician, or
Right,
that-
right. And again,
They provide training or anything
yeah,
like that?
we do provide workshops, but we never give out medical advice.
Right.
We will have conversations. Well, A good blood pressure, most think is I think 80 over 120 over 60, I think it is over 80, but it's now it's below 120 over 80.
Well, I want you to hold that thought because we got to take another quick break.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna make sure that for you don't know, we're gonna make sure we leave all this information uh, in the description. So we'll make sure we link them because we're trying to take this thing not only North Carolina but hopefully to if you're interested in trying to do this in your state in your area. I'm gonna make sure the information is down in the description.
Globally.
We'll be
Yes,
right
sir.
back. We're trying to go global with this. All right, and we back and we just left off. We was talking about the blood pressure. You was giving me the update. You said it was a change in what we consider good blood pressure.
Right. Well, that you had said that some barbers might push back saying, "But we don't want to give out, medical advice," and we don't. But we can have conversation as men about what we're going through, and so
Men and women.
men and women,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely. Our customers are our friends, and
Right.
these are people that we see all the time. So we can definitely have a conversation about it. So it's just we want to screen, educate, and confirm. We got real quick literacy programs where we got bookshelves inside of the barbershops within the Urban Barber Association.
Nice.
Kid comes in, read the book while he's in the chair, or the parent reads the book to the kid, and while the kid is in the chair, he tells us about the book. We got programs that we made. A lot of guys that got the felony background. 6 pages of companies that has that hire people with felony background. So we're doing a lot with the Urban Barber Association to promote community health,
Yeah.
not just physical health, but health overall.
Right.
So,
you made me think about when you mentioned about reading to the kids. So my kids, my son was actually in kindergarten, or no, it might have been first grade. They convinced me to go and they wanted me to come in as the barbers. I came with my barber jacket and read it to the class. Tell you what, the kids loved it, but they put
Yeah.
you to work though. But
Yeah,
they loved
they'll
it.
definitely put you to work.
But it was way more gratifying to me than I thought.
Yeah.
So I encourage you barbers, if you're not doing any type of reading, like you're saying, having the books, having the books at the shop, go your kids or your clients' kids, go to their schools and go read
Right.
to them and
Reach out to the
go in
local
reach out to
elementary school.
exactly and go out and show, make your presence felt because again, as barbers, we know in barbershops we are pillars in our communities and they need to see us in these areas. So
these little kids, they look up to us. Like, of course, a kid is going to look up to LeBron or some other Steph Curry or whomever else, but those are people that they cannot touch. These kids walk past your shop every day.
Your shop.
These are people that can come in and touch you,
Yeah.
whether you know it or not, whether you accept it or not. You are a beacon of light in your community, and you have a responsibility to your community to help those people out, whether
right.
you accept it or not.
That's
So
it.
just accept it graciously and do whatever you can to uplift that community.
So switching conversation, was still staying in that space because that's again extremely important, and I piggyback 100%. Get involved, right? So, what's your thoughts of your opinion of the industry today, barber industry today? What's your thoughts? And I know every state is different, but as a whole, I guess you can maybe speak. If it's easy to speak for your area, but what do you feel? How do you feel the opinion of the industry today?
My opinion of
where
it,
the industry is headed, I should say.
this is always a debate
Yeah.
between generations.
Yeah.
But me as a seasoned barber and just an older, than the generation that's coming up,
Now, so are you still actively cutting a little bit?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm sitting in the shop
Okay.
at least 2 days a week.
Okay.
You know what I'm
cool.
saying?
You can continue my fault.
But I embrace it, man, because this is how I look at it. The old guys, they got something about just the spray paint and da.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like people complaining about the young people and the way they dancing and stuff now. But look, go back to 1989 and put on a Luke video.
Yeah, they were getting it in.
It was some of
Getting it in.
us.
Getting it.
That was some of us.
Wide open.
Remember that, and it's always a predecessor to whatever it is today.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you want to be mad at the spray paint, all of us messed with Beijing back in the day.
All of us did.
You know what I'm saying? So let's keep it real.
Let's keep it real.
And as far as if we in this industry just talk about strictly money,
Right.
If you want me to spray something on your head, if you go give me an extra $15 to $20 to do that, something that take me 5 minutes,
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
That's right.
I'm all for it.
That's
And the
right.
thing is, like, things are going to keep evolving and changing. So we learn in some of these classes, you have to be comfortable
Yeah.
being uncomfortable.
Yeah, I hear that, and I tell that to
Period.
my class all the time.
Yeah, you have to be.
I want you to be comfortable, and I want you to be comfortable in an uncomfortable situation. I say
Right.
that. I said, oh,
Right.
that's it
So,
right there.
you know,
That's it.
I don't have a problem with the industry
Yeah.
and the way it's going
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, it's all going to equate to a dollar sign.
And when we learned in this weekend on this conference discussion, for those that didn't come out, you barbers, you seasoned barbers, shop owners, school owners that didn't make it to this year to the conference, make sure you make a conference. But we were talking about technology now becoming effective and bringing them into the classrooms just to show students other things that they can do out beyond the chair.
Right.
And I think that's very healthy. But enhancements is so fun. I can't think of my man name was, I saw him on Facebook some years ago, but he said it best, and I kind of just pretty much repeated how, there's nothing wrong with enhancements, but it's the key word. It's an enhancement, but not replacement.
Right.
That's sometimes the problem we have with some of the, current barbers is that they relying heavy on the enhancements.
They more painters,
and they
makeup
more
artists.
painters. And I had a customer one time tell me, he was like, he had moved, he had relocated from, Raleigh to, at the time he was in Charlotte, but he was going by way of going to move to Atlanta actually. But anyway, he was telling me, like, man, he said, man, these cats, man, he said, you got to come up here and cut my hair. You got to move or something. I said, what you mean? I said, there's some great barbers anyway. He like, nah, man, these cats, when I knew it was a problem, when dude edging me up, and he just stopped and shakes his head to my, nah, I don't like that, and wipes my forehead and start over.
Oh, man. Oh, God.
I just thought that was too hilarious.
That
man.
is hilarious.
So with that being said, so that's why I asked you if you were still active.
Yeah.
In the shop is just to make it just for fun. What is your clipper of choice right now?
My clipper of choice,
right
man.
now. Clipper and trimmer.
Well, the beautiful thing about being an instructor is, and
I have a feeling what you're going to say.
the number one thing I tell the new class, everything in your kit. You can do a great haircut with everything in your kit.
Yeah.
But when y'all get out there on the floor, y'all gonna see them older students that got all these expensive tools,
All them fancy
most of which don't know how to use it. So the great thing about being an instructor is I never buy anything.
Anything. I get a chance to experience. I get to try everything.
Right. And I just happened to come up on some JRLs,
Nice.
and those was some game changing
JRLs?
clippers for me, man.
JRL, shout out to JRLs. That's the clipper and trimmer, or just the clipper?
I haven't tried the trimmer yet. I'm waiting on somebody to,
Let's get off of those.
stop dealing with them so I can make them a little offer on those.
Because you know how they do. They go through they're
Right.
so passionate.
Right,
They
exactly.
be going through them. Yeah, exactly. I
But
always joke with myself, hey, y'all might not have more clippers than me before y'all get out of here.
Exactly.
You know?
But
That's a good thing.
I definitely came up on, and I was very surprised. I got them at such a good price. I just had to get them, and so I tried them out, and I haven't put them down
All right,
since.
so JR, your clipper. What about trimmers?
My go-to, and this goes shock a lot of y'all, I still mess with my Wall Heroes.
Heroes.
Corded and everything.
Shout out to Walls Heroes. No diss. Y'all could be a sponsor. Show some love.
Right.
Love Walls.
And
I just haven't. I
like
reacted.
the baby
I reacted that way because I haven't heard Hero in a while.
Right,
So that's
right,
so salute
right.
to Walls and Heroes. Salute.
Yeah.
So
I like the little bitty. I like the power. I still got a few corded things, but I like the Babyless too. The skeleton Babyless.
Yeah, they hitting right now. They coming out the box, right? So, is there any last things you want to say for our audience? Anything you want to tell the audience, and you like to share? And we can
For
go get something to eat. And
all of
get
our
into next classes.
young barbers, this is what I tell for barbers that's graduating from barber college or new barbers that I come to work with me at Urban Cuts Barbershop. You have to have patience and you have to have consistency. Patience and consistency equals dollars. If you don't have either one of them, it's just not going to work. You have to wait because I had to wait. You got to pay your dues because he had to pay his dues.
That's right.
All those videos on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram that you're watching, those barbers that's world famous or making thousands and thousands of dollars every week.
Influencers.
They're not telling you that part. They had to wait. You got to pay your dues. There's no way around it in this game right here.
Love it. Pay your dues. Patience, consistency equals success. Money, green.
Yeah.
And he's right. Like you said, those social influencers, you don't see the hard work they put behind. It's work regardless of whatever you're going to do.
Yeah.
It's work regardless. It's required.
Right.
So on that note, I thank you again, sir, for having to sit down with me. We're going to go ahead and grab a bite because I done took this man time. So we're going to let him go and get his grub on here. We got to get into our next class. So remember, make sure you like, subscribe. We'll make sure we have information down as for everything that we've talked about today. So you want more information. So please share. And we'll see you next time.
Peace.
All right. Thank you, bro.
Appreciate that, brother.
Man, that was good, man.
Yeah, man.
That was good, man.